When you're ready.
The rest of the second tale. Connor whirled around. The parson? Yes, said the monster. I flung his roof into the dell below and knocked down every wall of his house with my fists. The parson's house was still before them, and Connor saw the yew tree next to it awaken into the monster and set ferociously on the parsonage. With the first blow to the roof, the front door flew open, and the parson and his wife fled in terror. The monster and the scene threw their roof after them, barely missing them as they ran. What are you doing? Connor said. The Apotha, whatever is the bad guy. Is he? Asked the real monster behind him. There was a crash as the second monster knocked down the parsonage's front wall. Of course he is, Connor shouted. He refused to help heal the parson's daughter. And they died. The parson refused to believe the apothecary could help, said the monster. When times are easy, the parson nearly destroyed the apothecary, but when the going got tough, he was willing to throw aside his every belief if it would save his daughters. So, Connor said, so would anybody. So would everyone. What did you expect him to do? I expected him to give the apothecary the yew tree when the apothecary first asked. This stopped Connor. There were further crashes from the parsonages as another wall fell. You'd have let yourself be killed? I am far more than just one tree, said the monster. But yes, I would have let the yew tree be chopped down. I would have saved the parson's daughter and many, many others besides. But it would have killed the tree and made him rich, Connor yelled. He was evil. He was greedy and rude and bitter, but he was still a healer. The parson, though, what was he? He was nothing. Belief is half of all healing. Belief is the cure. Belief is the future that awaits. And here was a man who lived on belief, but who sacrificed it at the first challenge, right when he needed it most. He believed selfishly and fearfully, and it took the lives of his daughters. Connor grew angry. You said this was a story without tricks. I said this was a story of a man punished for his selfishness, and so it is. Seething, Connor looked again at the second monster destroying the parsonage. A giant monster's leg knocked over a staircase with one kick. A giant monster's arm swung back and demolished the walls to the parson's bedroom. Tell me, Connor O'Malley, the monster behind him asked, would you like to join in? Join in, Connor said, surprised. It is most satisfying, I assure you. The monster stepped forward, joined in its second self, and put a giant foot through the settee, not unlike Connor's grandma's. The monster looked back at Connor waiting. What shall I destroy next? It asked, stepping over the second monster and its terrible blurring of the eyes. They merged together, making a single monster who was even bigger. I await your command, boy, it said. Connor could feel his breathing growing heavy again. His heart was racing and the feverish feeling had come over him once more. He waited a long moment. Then he said, knock over the fireplace. The monster's fist immediately lashed out and struck the stone hearth from its foundation, the brick chimney tumbling down on top of the roof in a loud clatter. Connor's breath got heavier still, like he was one doing the destroying. Throw away their beds, he said. The monster picked up the beds from the two roofless bedrooms and flung them into the air, so hard they seemed to sail nearly to the horizon before crashing to the ground. Smash their furniture, Connor shouted. Smash everything. The monster stomped around the interior of the house, crashing every piece of furniture it could find with satisfying crashes and crunches. Tear down the whole thing, Connor roared, and the monster roared in return and pounded the remaining walls, knocking them to the ground. Connor rushed in to help, picking up the fallen branches and smashing through the windows that hadn't already been broken. He was yelling as he did it, so loud he couldn't hear himself, disappearing into the frenzy of destruction, just mindlessly smashing and smashing and smashing. The monster was right. It was very satisfying. Connor screamed until he was hoarse, smashing until his arms were sore, roaring until he was nearly falling down with exhaustion. When he finally stopped, he found the monster watching him quietly from outside the wreckage. Connor panted and leaned on the branch to keep himself balanced. Now that, said the monster, is how destruction is properly done. And suddenly they were back in Connor's grandma's sitting room. Connor saw that he had destroyed almost every inch of it. Do you want me to redo it?